We've seen how each of the European groups interacted with the Native Americans, but let's look from the Native American perspective how they interacted with the different European groups. They helped with hunting and trapping. The Native Americans showed the Europeans where to hunt and where to fish and how to fish in new ways that they had never seen before. They were obviously very good at hunting and trapping here in their area, and the Europeans were pretty good at it over in Europe. But when they came here, things were a little different. So the Native Americans had to help them with that kind of thing. We also see that they helped with farming and building. We talk about how the early English settlers needed a lot of help in learning how to farm, but they also needed a lot of help in learning how to build. They came over here and maybe had never really built something from nothing, and the Native Americans worked with them to teach them how to do that. If you look at the middle picture here, you can see that is a early settlement that they set up, and it looks a lot like the Iroquois Native American settlements. Where do you think they learned that from? Well, the Native Americans taught them how to do that, kept them safe, and helped them to get things set up quickly so that they could start living and getting things settled and in routine and survival. The Native Americans did not own land. They didn't believe that any person owned land, but they just used what they needed. They hunted when they needed food, and when they didn't need food, they didn't hunt. The Native Americans built their homes out of what they had around them, and they didn't use any more than they really needed. They weren't very wasteful people. They had a little bit of a hard time with the Europeans because they didn't have that mindset, and so one of their interactions was that they didn't own the land, and so when the Europeans kind of came in and settled in an area, a lot of times it didn't bother them too much. They were able to just kind of move on and go somewhere else. Like I said before, and if you haven't watched that video with English and the Native Americans, the issue was not so much who owned the land and ended in violence, as sometimes it was a peaceful, well, we would like to live here, okay, you can live here. Sometimes it was violent. So real quick to recap, the Native Americans helped in trading and trapping and hunting and fishing. They taught them how to farm as well. They taught them how to build their homes in a quick and reasonable fashion. And they also had beliefs that you couldn't own the land. And that was kind of their interaction with the Europeans.